Hi, welcome to the BelieveAfrica podcast, where we're having conversations that inspire, creating minds that revolutionize. My name is Cyril Awere, your host. Today we have episode 3, Unleash Your Potential. We have our special guest, Brepo Akrofi Agbeti. She's a HR executive, and she's going to share with us her insights on how young Africans can unleash their potential. Hi, Brepo.
Hi, Cyril.
Welcome to the BelieveAfrica podcast. It's really exciting to have you here, and I'm sure you're equally excited. I can see it by your smile on your face. And we haven't seen each other for quite some time, right? So Brepo was very, very instrumental when Cyril joined Alcatel-Lucent. Alcatel-Lucent is now Nokia since 2015.
Since 2016.
16 even, yeah. So I relocated from London to Accra, 40-foot container, a family of 4. You remember?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. My youngest son was at the time about 6 months old.
Yeah.
My eldest son was about 10 years old. And it was the most interesting experience that I have, great opportunity to work in Africa with my colleagues. And I learned a lot from the experience. But in particular, Brepo was very, very helpful with helping the family to settle in Accra because it's the first time for them. Very different from London, of course. So, but Brepo is very, very helpful with everything. I can go on and on and on with all the help that she provided. But it's really great to have you here, Brepo.
Thank you once again, Cyril.
So as a HR executive, you are helping Nokia with leading for a number of countries, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you can give us an introduction of yourself and explain your role and which countries you're covering.
All right. So thank you so much, Cyril, for the opportunity to be on your podcast.
Yes.
Well, my name is Brepo Akrofi Agbeti. I'm an HR expert currently with Nokia Solution Network. I support Ghana and then 3 other African countries, that is Democratic Republic of Congo, I support Madagascar, and I support Rwanda, mostly on people-related issues, labor relations, employee engagement, and then also supporting the business. Previously, HR was at the back, doing transactional activities, writing letters, ensuring employee leave. But now we've moved from the transactional activity into the strategic HR, where we support the business. We are part working hand in hand with the executive and then the country management team to push and make sure that the business thrive wherever we find ourselves. Yes, so this is what I've been doing. Apart from that, I am also a youth advocate in the assembly. I find myself and then currently trying to provide coaching in terms of relationship for younger youth.
Oh, so it's even better
assembly.
that we have you here.
I find myself.
Yes, we're talking about the youth, the young people, which you're very familiar with, based on your role. What brought you into this HR space?
Yes, that is my relationship with people. I remember I started as a financial assistant. Along the way, I felt the need to support people because then the HR directors were not sitting here in country. So practically I was supporting them. So through that, I developed the interest. Why not? I moved into the HR. So I learned it on the job and then took some training certifications to help me because mostly I feel that when I provide solution to people, just to solve people's problem, I have that satisfaction. So that was basically what moved me into the human resource.
Brilliant. Okay. So it's interesting, isn't it, how we start our career off in a particular area. And then over time we realize that there is an element of the other piece of work that we're doing, and then we sort of realize that that's where our interests lie, and then we move into that area instead.
Yeah, you're
So,
right.
because I'm sure you went into the role thinking that you're going to be focusing on finance, and then of course along the journey you realize that actually HR might be more suitable.
Yeah, you're right.
I say that because a lot of the time, you know, as young people, we are aspiring to go towards a particular direction in terms of career aspiration. But it's good to have an open mind, I guess, because you never know what that journey path can look like. It could go in a slightly different direction, isn't it?
You're right, because I started, when I came to educational background, I read sociology and then economics.
Right.
Yes, and then I delved into the finances. But when I came on the job, I realized that no, I don't want to do the finances. I rather want to focus on people-related activities. So those are the things that pushed me into the human resource.
Space. Brilliant.
Now people experience.
And let's talk about this word potential. What do you think this word actually means?
Well, from my own definition or understanding of potential is helping one person or someone to develop their capability or the ability they have into something wonderful in the future. So that's what, like, having the need to develop your capability or abilities into something in the near future.
Absolutely, yes.
So that's how I will define what potential is.
Yes. And there is this notion that every single person has a God-given gift, and you know, a natural talent, even, right? And as parents, those of us that are parents, it's important to be able to see what that talent looks like, right, in the child, and rather seek to leveraging that and bringing that out more. So that's a good example of that. But do you see from your experience that young people recognize what their talent is, from your experience with working with young people?
Yes, I see that mostly in young people, because I said from the beginning, I deal with a lot of youth.
Yeah.
And you could see most have, some may be able to recognize as others also don't recognize until maybe you give them that support or mentorship. So most African young ones, or most young ones, have that talent, and like someone have the talent of singing, someone have the talent of writing, someone also have the talent of leading. You see the skills of leading. So some know it, some are not able to know it so that they can develop it. So this is where we come in as mentor, to help them that, okay, I can see that you can talk a lot. So why don't you develop it into something else, like your speech? Or I know that you write good books or good stories. So why don't you turn into writing books? So a lot of young ones have that talent inbuilt in them, singing, acting, leading. For me, it's an inbuilt talent that they have. And then I think they need, if they don't know, they need people to support them, society, themselves, and then the environment they have, that is their parents supporting them to develop
you mentioned
those talents.
You mentioned that word environment, right? Because we also have this challenge with our young people having self-doubt, right?
A lot.
Yes, depending on the environment where they find themselves in, they might think that they have limited capabilities, or certainly not the potential to do great things. What's your observation on that? With what is causing some of our young people to have this self-doubt, do you think?
First of all, that is, they don't have the self-belief that they can do it. Secondly, the environment they find themselves. And thirdly, the society support given to them. For example, having mentorship or people to support them. And then also, I said self-doubt, and they don't have that belief that they can do it. And sometimes maybe financial also come on, and probably having the right education not only formal education, but having the opportunity to have some trainings, online trainings.
Yeah. And you mentioned there about, I'm thinking that, I guess, for young people, they need to go through some sort of self-discovery, isn't it?
Yes.
To really understand who they are. And that's where this talent might come out.
You're
They would
right.
recognize that, oh, yeah, I actually have this talent that I could use. How do you think that self-discovery journey can look like for a young person? Because it's important that they are doing this self-assessment, isn't it? And really understanding who they are and what their capabilities are. But how do you think that's what will be the steps for a young person to take to discover who they really are?
All right. So I'll give maybe 3 steps. The first step is to know who you are,
Yes.
know what you want, and know what you can do.
Right.
So you give yourself some time. Sometimes be away from people, or let me put it this way, from social media.
Yes.
And then look into yourself, what you think you have and what you can do. And then secondly, setting maybe smart goals that you think you can achieve in a long term, not short term. Sometimes short term goals may be good, but sometimes also long term goals it's better.
Yes.
And then taking opportunity to improve yourself.
Right.
After you have identified what you know you can do.
Yes.
Taking the time to improve yourself. That's
yes.
where learning come in, continuous learning.
Yes.
Not basically formal education.
Yeah.
But doing this online trainings and then having a hands-on experience, maybe a job that you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I can say about the 3 steps in
you
developing.
mentioned the setting of goals. That's important, isn't it?
Smart goals.
Yeah.
That is achievable.
That is achievable, right? Because sometimes we're over ambitious.
Yes,
we
and
set
then
ourselves some goals which
that
is not
you cannot
realistic.
achieve, and later you put it aside
Yes.
and then reset again. So for me, what I believe or what helped me when I started my career was setting some long-term goals. I remember at a point in time, before even moving into the HR, I said I was supporting the HR directors. I said 3 years ago. Initially, I set 1 year goal, and I realized that I wasn't able to achieve it. So having feedback from my manager helped me that it's better I set a long-term goal. So within 3 years, by the end of the 3 years, I was able to take the knob when the opportunity came. So I believe that you set long-term goals, give yourself some time. You start gradually, and then within that particular period that you've given your time, you'll be able to achieve that goal. And then,
so our young people apparently have a reputation for being impatient.
Yes, and it's something that really affects a lot of them. Sometimes when you engage with them.
Yes.
Yeah. So for me, patience is something that is an inbuilt. I say it's a value that you have. You need to have.
Right.
And then having patience and giving yourself time. It's good you give yourself time. Well, some are very. Some of the young ones are very brilliant and very quickly, so they are able to attain their 1 year goal. Some also are very slow, not to, meaning not that they are too slow, but at least they take time to be able to achieve that particular thing that they've set their minds to do. So give yourself time, patience, that this is what I want to do in the next 2 years. This is what I want to do in the next 3 years. And then you can achieve it. Having that boldness and that confidence that you can do.
That is possible, yeah. And I guess also not giving up, I guess, having the resilience.
Yes, a lot of us give up when we face challenges of failure.
Yes.
A lot of us give up and then we push our dreams aside. But for me, what I would advise is that see failure as a stepping stone to better yourself, and then pick up yourself up again, and then work towards that goal. And then
and it's a societal sort of way of thinking with failure, isn't it? Do you think is that partly the environment that making sure that you're in environments that recognizing that failure is okay, and as you said, it's a stepping stone? Because if you find yourself in an environment where failure is seen as something really terrible, then of course you're going to feel that way when it happens.
Normally, it happens in where we find ourselves. Let me give a typical example of one man of God that I know who lost his parent, mom and dad, at an early age, and failed his O level, and was at the mercies of the benevolence of people that live uncles and aunts, but didn't give up on himself, and then decided that this is what I want to do, and then put everything he had together and had a goal that this is what I want to do. Had a call of God upon himself, and then today he has a lot of branches, birthing, not giving up on his dream. So sometimes the environment we have or we find ourselves sometimes rule us out. You're a failure. You don't amount to anything. And if you allow that to affect you, you cannot achieve your dream. So for me, you see failure as a stepping stone. Yes, I have failed. I will pick up myself up and then attain whatever I want to do. And sometimes too, it's better you surround yourself with people, good people who can advise you, even though you fail, but that is not the end of you. You can pick up yourself.
So having mentors.
Yes. Right, and then even your own friends. Yes, be careful. Surround yourself with good friends who will encourage you. Yeah, you fail, but please.
You want people that will lift you up as opposed to bring you down.
Yes.
Which sometimes does happen.
And even your family members also supporting you. Just to attain your dreams.
And it's also linked to embracing a growth mindset, isn't it?
Yes.
Recognizing that the path towards success is paved with challenges.
Yes, you meet a lot of obstacles. They'll come your way.
Right.
But you don't allow that one to put you down.
Yes. Yeah. And we know this for all successful people that are well known in the world. All of them have at least one difficulty, challenge, some sort of crazy thing that happened to them, but they still persevered. So I think you're right. It's definitely recognizing that it's a normal part of the journey. What do you think from within our society? What are our cultural norms which is making it difficult for us to embrace a growth mindset, which should normally help us to recognize that every single person has a potential? When you think of any cultural behaviors that might be causing us to think in a way that is not helping us to move forward.
Well, I say fear.
Oh, fear, definitely. Yeah. Fear is
fear that you cannot do it.
Yes. Yeah.
And then also
fear kills dreams.
Yes. If you really entertain it, it will kill your dream. And then will I say societal influence.
Yes. This thing with respecting your elders.
Yes, also, yes. Having that one, respecting your elders. Yeah. So you don't, we are not built to be bold and confident to speak our minds. Also affect us negatively. Yeah. So I think these are the two things.
I'll say those are the two things. And so courage is important.
Yes, you need courage.
Courage, tenacity.
Yes.
But it's also useful for us to, and this is what this podcast is helping to do, is to educate the masses about the importance of embracing a growth mindset. And so even parents that are listening will then think that, okay, if my son, my daughter wants to go to explore something like a really big ambition, then yes, they should go for it.
Yes,
as opposed to thinking that, oh no, this is
above you. Right. Yes, you have the courage, you have the money.
Yes.
Sometimes we have our parents.
Excuses,
yes, right? But I think we need to encourage them. Let our young ones feel that they have the ability, they can do it, and then we give them all the support that they need. Yes, to go for it.
What are the? Let's talk about from a networking perspective. What are the strategies that young people? Are there any avenues or existing platforms where young people can leverage that to network and use that to find opportunities to reach their potential?
Yes, there's one or two avenues that they can do that. I've heard about the Toastmasters here in Accra.
Oh, Toastmasters.
Yes,
right.
that young ones can join.
Yes.
I know it doesn't come
It's not for free.
Yes,
okay.
You need to.
So there's a fee.
Yeah, a fee that you need to pay that can help in your communication skills.
Right.
That can help you to network. You find a lot of people who have the same ambition or the same idea, just to better their communication skill, how you speak to people, how you interact. So I think they can find themselves on such, let me say, platform.
And it's Toastmasters, right?
Yes, Toastmasters.
Okay, so it's fee-based. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to propose this to our listeners. So Brepo is talking about Toastmasters as being a potential avenue for networking. It's fee-based. The BelieveAfrica podcast is going to identify one of you as our listeners. There's going to be a prize. So one of you could win, the opportunity to join Toastmasters here in Ghana. So watch this space about that. Okay, but that's a really good tip. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. And then there are other book clubs also.
Yeah.
Normally for young ones that you hear some of the radio stations that they advertise. So that is some of the platforms or areas that you can develop.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And then, of course, from a digital perspective, there's LinkedIn, isn't there?
Yes, LinkedIn. You have a lot of
platform.
Yes, that you can go and then read a lot of. There are a lot of trainings on LinkedIn. Apart from that, there are other social media platform.
Yes.
That you can also go there.
YouTube has lots of information.
Very good.
Yeah. Lots of free information even, right? Shouldn't have to go to school. You can just do it all on YouTube.
Yes, where now a lot of people are utilizing it. So these are some of the platforms that you can take.
I mean, on a personal note, I know that LinkedIn is really, really powerful. It's through LinkedIn that I joined Nokia Ghana.
Wow.
Yes, I was discovered on LinkedIn by a headhunter who approached me and said, Cyril, we have this amazing opportunity in Ghana that we think you're a good fit for. And then, a long story short, I joined Alcatel in Ghana. So LinkedIn can be very, really powerful as well. So that's really great, Brepo. You've shared some really wonderful insights there, and hopefully our listeners would, recognize the insights that you've shared and be more conscious of the fact that they are capable of a lot more than what they currently believe, right?
You're right.
And that if they embrace a growth mindset, make sure that they are surrounding themselves with the right people, environment.
And then building on their character is something they also have to take note of it.
Yes, building on the character. Yes. Because you do need courage, for instance.
And then maybe having your own values, something that to guide you along the way, being respectful.
That's a good point, Brepo. Yeah,
honesty.
What values do you think would...
for me, like being trustworthy.
Yes,
being integrity, honesty. And showing empathy. That's something that mostly we look out when even we are hiring.
Right.
Yes. Right. So it's something that you can build on.
Yeah.
And then
I have one question for you, Brepo.
All right.
When I joined Alcatel in Ghana, one of the questions that I asked myself was that how come it is that I was contacted all the way in the UK and London to join Alcatel here in Ghana when there are so many people looking for work that could potentially fit that role? What do you think about that?
Well, maybe the expertise. They couldn't get that particular expertise here.
Okay.
So maybe the job hunter was given a particular role. They need a particular criteria. So whoever found you on LinkedIn realized that you had those particular expertise, those particular experience, and then maybe based on one or two conversation he or she had with you, realized that you'll be able to do it. So mostly, not that they cannot find it here, but based on the number of experience you had, and then looking at your profile, what you've shared on LinkedIn might play the part. Yes, of you being.
Yeah, I also think that the values part that you mentioned is a very, very key part.
Mostly you see a lot of people having very nice qualification, you see their certificate.
Yes.
Sometimes when you bring them on board, you realize that they lack this, let me put inner values. Yes, to work with.
Right.
So mostly it's good you build those particular values. You have your own values that guide you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's so in conclusion is for young people to be conscious about the values that they're striving to embody.
Yes.
And also recognize that within the environment they need to have the right people
to support
around them to support them. Embracing a growth mindset is very key. And of course networking, making sure that they are exposing themselves to
and also education, as I said,
ongoing continuous learning.
Continuous learning, not basically formal education, but taking opportunity to do other online trainings and then hands on the job.
Because you have a lot of young people who are using these amazing devices for Facebook and Instagram,
whereby they can do a lot of things. And I know
TikTok.
And people are also gaining from TikTok. When you hear some of them being interviewed, the amount of money they gain being on TikTok. So I think they can use it positively.
In a positive way.
That's what I can say.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Cyril.
Really a wonderful conversation. So for you, our listeners, hopefully you have gained some insights from this conversation. Do watch this space about the prize for joining Toastmasters in Ghana. There will be some communications on that. Yes, continue to stay close with us, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to you joining us for the next episode. Please don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channels, along with our social media platforms for any new offerings and engagements with you as listeners. And we look forward to seeing you at the next episode. Thank you.